Okay, so now it's February 6th of 2023, finishing up with my food prepping here. So this is the way we're going to attempt the black beluga lentils, organic, and the black Thai rice, organic. Thai, China, Asian, black Asian rice. Oftentimes it comes from Thailand. Alright, so this is the way I'm going to do it. Maybe I'm being a little excessive, but I pay good money for this stuff, and I really like it, so I want to preserve it in the best way that I can, being it's the end of my game when it comes to I'm not allowed to buy anything until after everything's all put away. That's the boundary that I set for myself, except for when I go out to go see the surgeon for my eyes. Then I get to go to Walmart and shop, or wherever. In a situation like that, I'd be buying canned corned beef, canned hind beans, or whatever. And if I find 3 packets of meat on sale, you know I'm buying it, and I'm going to can it. Because I can still kind of see people. Although I do think my eyes got worse. I do. I told my son today, I think my eyes going to get getting worse. He goes, well, Mom, just do what you can in a day. And I'm like, well, that's basically what I'm doing. Right? So, anyway. After doing this for years and 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 years, and doing it in many kind of different ways, and that I'm pretty much, when it comes to the dry bulk goods, right, like, you know, I got my buckets all ready to go, my gamma lids, I've got my last 2-gallon set of 7 gamma lids soaking in the sink, so I'll either do them tonight or do them tomorrow morning. But tonight I'm going to vacuum seal 10 bags with oxygen absorbers of, well, I have one bucket that has beluga beans in it, and lentils, and I have another one with the black rice. So whatever bucket I open up, that will be the bucket I'll start with. First, I'm going to put them in my paper bags because I like doing that, because it helps to insulate the food. It helps to protect the plastic so that when you're vacuum sealing, you know, there's that little bit, it's not much, but it's a little bit of protection to help prevent it from being poked, right? And I guess you can say it protects it from the light, but that's not the reason why I've used it, right? But I'm putting it in the paper bag first. Notice I got a whole bunch of them. I kind of like this method, especially when I went down into Auntie Shemay's room, and from 2020, they're still sitting there for the most part. I'd say probably, I don't know how many. I'm taking them out of the boxes and I'm putting them into their own buckets, into Mylar bags, right? So when I get to that, then we'll see how many bags popped. But from what I could tell, the majority of them are fine. So they're just going to go into a bucket, into a Mylar, into a Mylar bag, into a bucket with a Ziploc, and then the gamma lid. Get them out of the cardboard box, just in case I get a mouse in there. God forbid, if it starts to breed. Right. So, alright. It was my final kind of, I said to my son, I'm just trying to make it nice, right? Easy, just clean, right? I'm looking for scissors. I don't see scissors. I had scissors here. Find the scissors. I'm curious to see. Now, I had to order more vacuum seal bags, right? So I have the kind that I can make my own, whatever size I want. But I thought I'd try it like this, and I'm really hoping that this, which is almost perfect, it technically needs to be, honestly, a little longer. I don't think this will work. Because by the time you fill this up, you fold it over, and then it puffs up, right? These are going to be pretty small. Maybe too small. Should be able to get into them. I'm doing video.
You want soup?
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to try fill up a bag.
Ah, my headache.
That's what stress will do you. You should have just done what he asked. Would have been fine.
Yeah, my headache is really bad.
Well, now you know how I feel when you poke the bear with me all the time. Right? It's not a fun feeling, is it? No, it's not.
I probably don't even take time off.
No, and I don't even have any around right now. It's not something that you ever use.
It's
Don't have
in
to.
there and
You're fine. Anyway, we'll just see what we get, because you need, you know, however many of these. I can work in batches of 10 because I ordered them smaller. Right? And then after they're vacuum sealed, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill them up, have 10 in a row here on my stove. And then I'm going to open up this, and I'm going to have this all ready to go. So these will be folded inside, ready to go, so that when I'm ready to do this, I just open up a little bit, put one in, I'm going to put it into the paper bag. I don't know how I'm going to do this, really. Put it in the paper bag, fold it up, give it a bit of tape, right? And then I'm going to fold this over the plastic, like that. And if I have to, I'm going to put a paper clip on it, just to protect that oxygen absorber until I can actually vacuum seal it, right? Because I'm working in 10s, right? So that after I just grab, go like this, it's already folded up, taped up inside, vacuum seal, grab, right? You know, this is where 2 people would come in handy, but. And then, after that's done, I have a choice. Depending on if this will fit in here. It's hard to say. Do you see? This is a 1 gallon Mylar bag. And then I bought a kit. Just because. This is supposed to be a .91, like there's like 0.5 milliliter, like the real small ones, 0.5 in terms of thickness, 0.4, 1, and okay, so the higher you go up, the thicker the Mylar, which is more durable, right? When I went on Amazon and I ordered this one, it said a 0.9, where these ones that I just showed you are supposed to be a 0.5. Usually they're just on, all you can seem to find is 0.5. So when I seen the 0.9, I thought, oh, okay, I'll try that. Because it was in the description, it listed that it had that aluminum coating on the inside compared to just being polyester. I know it doesn't look like polyester, but you could make a wicked stripper costume with this if you wanted to. Just saying. Anyway, I don't think there's anything aluminum about these things. I think where I bought them from was being misleading. First thing you notice, it says Mylar bag on the box. Doesn't say anything about aluminum in here. And if I had to compare thickness, these are my computer glasses, I can't use these. If I had to compare thickness, yeah, my eyes got worse, people. I don't think there's anything different in here in terms of thickness. This one came with some labels, so that's kind of cool. Oxygen absorbers, but they're all just stuffed into one bag, so I'm not opening up that one anytime soon because I bought already in 10 pound in packets of 10, right? Pouches of 10. And then this one here, I'll just bring the camera over. Well, I don't know, I can't really see. I don't know what I would use these for, but you never know. They have little ones, as if I need little ones. But maybe when I start having my blind woman's auction, when I sell something, maybe I'll put it in there. I don't know. Or maybe I'll make a snack. I don't know. I don't know. It's not what I bought it for. Everything looks bigger when you're ordering online, and then when you get it, it's so puny. And then that's the next size, right? And then it has these ones, which is actually a fair amount, honestly, which might be better for what I need. Because I don't know, once these are filled up, and again, I know from doing it so many times already that this is too short. I know it for a fact. So, these would be great for like little meals or something that you can just vacuum seal and, or I don't know, just something. Figure it out. But I think I'm going to have to, it would be in my best interest. I bought the rolls to pre-cut because we're looking at, I know from doing it so many times in the past already, I'm blind, but I can still, you know, I got that eagle eye when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? I need, at least another 3 inches in order to have that room to be able to vacuum seal what I want. But those other ones can be used for something else, right? They're convenient. And I don't know, they probably have other sizes. Maybe I'll order something else. But these are nice. Right? These are actually quite nice. Although I don't think they're lined any more different. Like this, in terms of feel, I don't know. How can you tell if one has an aluminum lining versus just being straight up polyester? Because the aluminum lining makes it harder for air to seep through the fibers that put the fabric together.
This is mine. I'll be back with yours.
I already lost. Oh wait, and then there's these ones. These ones I got from 72 Hours. That emergency website and I bought a whole bunch of gauze, pads, like large ones, different sizes, right? And then the gauze that wraps around, because those are important to have, because you really never know when you need those. One time Sierra showed up, and I guess she went into a tent or something, because, you know, and some their lantern or something that was burning spilt, and the oil spilt on her leg, and it burnt her leg. And I had to change her dressing for quite a while, and it just so happened I had big, you know, to go right on the wound. They're expensive. So anyway, I stocked up on a bunch of that stuff too, and I've got a bit more in my room, so. But in terms of, like, I don't know. This one's shinier, this one's not. They feel like they're almost the same. So I don't know. I don't know if these are just your standard Mylar bag. Either or, it doesn't matter. Okay. So what we're doing then is I will pre-cut what I know will be the right size and put those away. That's the first thing. We know I'm going to fill these up, fold them over, get them ready, right? Have 10 bags, then come along and put an oxygen absorber, tape it up, right? Fold it up, right? I don't know. Maybe Andre can help me when that time comes. Go fast.
Be careful, it's hot.
Okay, is it good?
I have not tried it.
My son cooking. Yeah. Him and his girlfriend, they do a really good job. I like probably 95% of what he makes.
There you go.
I suppose that's one advantage to going blind. You don't have to do dishes anymore. You don't have to cook anymore. You don't have to do anything. You just have to wait for the food,
yeah.
right? What?
If I'm still hungry, should I just cook this? I'm still hungry?
Well, why don't you just eat that first?
Yeah.
Okay? That's a fair amount.
And I'm just saying, like if I'm still hungry.
Yeah, I'm gonna give some to Amari. That's good. He'll like that.
Okay.
Okay, so you know what we're gonna do anyway. And then after they're all vacuum sealed, put them in the Mylar bag, right? Oxygen absorber will be inside the paper bag. I think that would be good enough. And put them in the Mylar bag. And then I'm just going to, I mean, I could throw an oxygen absorber in each Mylar bag if I wanted to, just to double dose it, right? Not gonna hurt it. And then, I might do that, because I've got lots, right? So, what do I care? And then I got my, see? How nice that is? Right? Two of them. One for the rice, the black rice, and one for the black beluga lentils. And then I've got some black turtle beans or something like that. You know, maybe if I find, I'll kick it, whatever I'll put. But either or. These are 5 gallons, and for 25 pounds, I should be able to, well, almost 25 pounds of the beluga lentils, and 1 gallon less of the black Thai rice. But then I also got that wild rice kicking around here too. I haven't done, and I might just do it this way. Just, you know, right? Doesn't matter. So that's what I'm doing. So I just wanted to show you, Shelly. This is an option. Something for you to consider. Now, so yeah, do a little bit of everything in terms of when I started dehydrating. I got lots of it still from 2011. I've got, you know, those wine jugs, those glass wine jugs, the ones that are like this, or the green ones, and they're like 1 gallon 1 gallon wine jugs. They're big. Full of carrots and, I don't know, beets. They've been just sitting there. Never been opened in a dark, cool place, to which they're probably still fine. And if I didn't do it that way, I was getting, you know, when you buy juice, the plastic containers, I have a whole bunch still sitting up over there. Might end up being plant food yet. Who knows? Or maybe even cat food for all we know, right, with the way things are going. Apparently cat food is a real issue. So, in terms of, it's getting harder and harder for people to find it, you know, depending on their location, right? So I hang on to it because you just don't know right now, right? I'm not starving, but if I was starving, I'd be looking at it like, right? Okay, so this I don't need. So I'll put this in another bag so they stay fresh. Right, because who knows when I'll use them. I'm so looking forward to when this is over. You don't know. I have butter downstairs. I forgot about it. I was supposed to make ghee. I'm thinking, maybe I'll just can butter. Try that. I've got ghee downstairs. Maybe I'll just can some butter and let's see what happens. Yeah, maybe. So I might be canning butter this week. It's either that or making ghee. I really have no room in my freezers for it right now. So, and then when you're done with stuff like this, to protect it, all you do is just put it in a plastic bag, keep it out of the air, put it in a dark, cool place, and when you need it, it will be as fresh as it was when you put it in there. Right? That's why I like to put my fabrics into plastic bags whenever I can. Or depending on, like if I have bolts, that's, yeah, well, even in bolts, I have bolts of fabric. That's like, you're talking meters and meters of fabric, you know. And I put them in plastic and it makes a difference. I think I might have to get into my room pretty soon and start selling off some of my clothes. Yeah. I got a lot of clothes in there. I got some really nice jackets. Whatever Tisha wants she can have, but not everything will fit her because she's bigger than me. Right? Takes after her Jamaican dad. Right? He's a kickboxer, so he's really solid. She's solid too. When she was little, she'd fall asleep and I couldn't even pick her up at 2 years old because she's just so heavy with her body density. You can't. You don't even know. You don't even know. So I'll come back. Oh yeah, see? I forgot one. I'll be back. Hold on. Okay, so I'm working on this and I'm I'm listening to this Liberty Talk News. And she's interviewing somebody that's discussing books in schools in British Columbia, Canada, that are promoting incest between siblings, fathers basically raping their daughters, girls being taught to hate their bodies young. Just a lot of really sick shit. Prior to that, I was listening to Laura Lynn Thompson, and she was talking to somebody about, you know, these transvestites that think they're women going into public female washrooms, like in swimming pools and places like that where there's children and women, and because they identify themselves to be women, quote unquote, even though they've got junk, you know. Anyway, back to Liberty Talk News with Odessa here. Something, I don't know. And they were talking about calling the cops to get these books out of the schools, right? But they won't do it because the parents, quote unquote, themselves aren't filing a complaint for the cops to go in and investigate. But here's the thing, people. If parents were doing this kind of stuff with their kids inside the houses, reading these pornography books that are geared, quote unquote, for children, what they're trying to teach them, I don't know. Even showing them actual pornography videos, I mean, the social services would come in and remove the children for child abuse, child exploitation, right? But you know what? It makes me think back to Sierra when she was 14, just turned 14, and I'm banging on Norma's door, give me my daughter. She not giving me my daughter, and I called the cops and I said, look, my daughter's in there. There's this native woman giving her methamphetamine, getting her to go out in the streets and steal purses. My daughter doesn't need to be, I want my daughter, like, fucking get my daughter out of that house. The cop said, how old is she? I said, she's 14, she just turned 14. Oh, well, she's old enough to make her decisions, her own decisions. That's what they told me. And then they pulled out the Criminal Code of Canada. They're so fucking two-faced, people. So two-faced. Under the Criminal Code of Canada, it says she's 14 years old and she can make her own decisions. If she's stealing purses out on the streets, we'll catch her when she does it and then we'll arrest her. Other than that, we're not taking her out of that house. No, people, it's because the fucking cops have an alliance with some of these natives out here that go around corrupting other kids in the neighborhood, okay? Norma, with her kids, got like 20 other kids addicted to methamphetamine. Okay, her and Jimmy Tracci, and I don't know what her last name is. All I know, she was a native woman named Norma, and she used her kids as bait to attract other kids, and all it takes is one hit off of methamphetamine for a kid, especially one with a learning disability. Oh yeah, and they're hooked for life, people. They're fucking hooked for life. These dirty cops, they're trafficking kids, people. Okay, if they're not going in there taking out these nasty ass, dirty, filthy, lewd, godforsaken, disgusting books out of schools, public schools, I don't care what the grade is, then that tells you, people, that the cops themselves are fucking pedophiles, okay? They're pedophiles. A lot of them are pedophiles, and they're body snatchers, people, okay? And this public school system, just like with the healthcare system or any other government system, it's infested with something, and they're out of control, okay? They have no moral compass. They worship slime. Their brains are putrid. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Some of these pictures that they were showing, I mean, like, okay, I'm an adult. I can cope with it. Whatever. Been there, done that. It's nothing new, right? But for children to be indoctrinated into that, and as the school with the counselors and those ones that are pushing that envelope are trying to turn the kids against the parents. Yeah, I seen that with Shimei when all that shit was going on with Andre, when they took Andre and threw Sierra out of the house illegally, and then came in and illegally apprehended Andre, and everybody wanted to fucking die. You know what those counselors did at school? They turned that whole situation to their advantage and tried to get Shimei mad at me. Yeah, but it didn't work. She got mad at me for a little while, but she ended up coming back and apologizing once she realized what those people were trying to do, people. Because they're running their own fucking pedophile ring. Okay? You're gonna bring crap like that into schools and give it to kids? Like, that's bullshit. And if the cops aren't going to do anything and say, well, it's not in our power until a parent comes and makes a complaint, yeah, okay, right. That's a bunch of bullshit. You already got the fucking complaint. When people call on social services, somebody, whoever got the call on, we don't get to know who called on us, okay? Well, the same principle should apply. But you see, that's why the cops are dirty, though, because they don't follow their own fucking rules, okay? Only when it's convenient for them, just like with their stupid legislation, right? They'll lock up the petty criminal, right, when it's convenient for them to lock up the petty criminal. But the ones that are going around murdering people so that they can come back in and snatch up on those dead body parts or live body parts that have been hooked up to perfusion machines. Who fucking knows with these things? Because many of them are not normal. There's nothing normal about them. And they don't protect kids. It took me a long time to figure it out with Sierra looking back, and I'm like, why didn't they go in there and get her out? Oh no, criminal code says she's old enough to make her own decisions. We can't get her out. No, that's a bunch of fucking crock. You wanted her out there being exploited. You wanted her strung out on fucking drugs. You wanted her to turn into a prostitute so you and your fucking crew go in there and gangbang her. And then at the end, after her brain got so fucking hardwired from your garbage that she lost her mind, you turn around and you fucking lured her to her death, and I got it on fucking camera. Yeah, I got it on camera with that body dude guy going down the stairs, looking in his cell phone, and then grinning, and then doing his little hand signals to those dirty fucking cops sitting in the vehicle waiting for their turn to look at the snuff movie. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And that's why they don't do shit about what this garbage is being passed around in society right now. They sign up to the police force. I'm pretty sure it's not long before they're injected with something, or maybe they're replaced. Maybe the original is snuffed out. Huh? Yeah, and then they come in with their clones that are infected with something. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Because they're not good people. They're not. No. No. You know, you got fucking grown-ass men dressing up looking like nightmare women that came out of a Frankenstein movie, dancing and doing whatever and doing whatever and doing whatever, thinking they're feminine around little children, or sitting there with their crotch exposed, looking like Frankenstein women that crawled out of some fucking hole that want to, what? Read a story, and the cops aren't going to do anything about that, people. I wonder why, people. I wonder why. And the Punjabis don't care, because as far as they're concerned, anyone that participates in that kind of activity, to which the majority of them are probably white people, right? Because that's who's being targeted here, people. Right? You know, just means more houses for them to move into and buy as we self-implode one way or another. Right? You know, like, this is just down and out sickness. Like, seriously, I can't believe that the world has come to this. This is so fucking sick. Oh, it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad.
all about the
It makes me so mad. You don't even know.
They knew that they had to do that, so when if a parent is against the tea part that's getting bizarre, you know, the pushing and changing body parts and stuff before you even have sex, you have no idea what they're doing. That now they can just gaslight us, like the news, anti-LGBT.
Teaching girls by watching
you know,
porn movies that
the
it's
way they edit
okay and normal to be beat as you're being raped. This is what they're showing kids in school. Yeah, okay, in actual video form. That came from, what's that? Governor Newsom from California, his wife. That's what she's promoting in the school system. And the cops aren't doing nothing about it. Why, people? Because they run the fucking snuff movies, people. That's why. Smack, smack, smack!
attacking my friends last time at the protest, and they were saying that the Antifa people were the good guys.
They run the snuff movies, people. That's why they don't do anything about it. They want those little 14, 15, 16-year-old kids out in the fucking streets. Okay, I know. Trust me, I fucking know.
Went and burnt down a whole bunch of black communities and businesses.
Yeah, right. In USA.
That's called
I
liberal
fucking
logic.
know.
Yeah. Exactly. Who's gonna help?
Been there, done that already. I know more than you think.
You know, they try actually to push BLM into my daughter's house.
And then what they did to Sierra just confirmed it.
But yeah.
From the time I was banging on that fucking bitch's door,
Why are you not
and the cops wouldn't do a damn thing to save my daughter. That's just me. Go away.
And went and bought mansions. And actually, it turns out
To the
that
time they
a big, massive chunk of
We're
BLM
investigating John Hart
donations went to the Democrat
for suspicion of murder
Party. Why don't we actually
and threw out the mother
pictures
and the brother and the sister so that we couldn't identify Sierra because they had John Hart to do it because he was under investigation for murder as they were torturing my daughter. Yeah, listening to us on the outside, crying for us to come and help her, and we couldn't because they made sure we couldn't. Right, people? Because they're dirty.
It wasn't violent, but they're not arresting the
So yeah,
kids that are burning buildings
it's not
down.
unusual then to have these dirty ass filthy fucking books in these schools
The tie is twisting.
with their
The police is like, oh my gosh,
Frankenstein women
we're just gonna put the political
Yeah.
side and do our job.
doing their story time in the library
The police usually, the people who like to protect people.
when they're not
the people who
stalking people in the neighborhood, because we know how that works with that green garb shit.
And, you know, something went wrong
they're sick.
time because things when the police, I think we get into a stage when the police is like,
The green guard comes from Sonia 1 when Shmei was murdered. And Sonia 1 showed up at the hospital, or was it the courthouse? It was the courthouse, you know, fighting for her Mari. Yeah. With her green garb because she came from the prenatal clinic, you know, because she's such a fine woman, right, who works. Yeah, okay. And then I ended up going off to Home Depot, and some fucking faggot came in there and was wearing green garb pants and being the fairy that he was. Like, seriously, man, like, get the fuck away from me. You guys are out of fucking control. You're a bunch of fucking drama queens.
beneficial. We have
Like,
to
seriously.
better collaboration, actually.
Like, there's seriously something wrong with you all.
It's very important, even with this stuff.
You have they don't even know what the word couth means, or self-respect, or any of that crap.
Always BCC the police.
They're a bunch of predators. That's what they are, people.
And I had conversations with former police officers.
And the cops protect it
The police
because
people
they
are
get
there.
off
Very
on
hard for
it.
them to talk. They're like police on guard.
Yeah.
They're a very good organization. They're a bunch of police officers.
See, they won't talk about stuff like that, though.
Former police officers, police officers that went together.
They'll make excuses for the cops.
They help a lot
Yeah.
of people. And they're still doing a lot of stuff with their memorabilia.
I'm not making fucking
Yeah, they
excuses for
gave
the cops.
people a lot of hope, which we needed.
No.
Yeah, exactly. The main goal of those marches is to divide yourself. So whenever you feel that something divides you from another group, you have to think twice before
Yeah.
anything that group or thinking
I'm not
of
making
it.
excuses
So
for
that's the
nasty,
goal.
filthy things.
They want us to don't like the police. And it's so wrong. You know, so it's just, I think it's a very important brings to mention. Yeah.
Well, I really hope you guys share this episode, and, you know, people need to hear the words that are in these books. People need to know the cartoons that are in these books. And I have to tell you, if I was 10 years old and my, especially male teacher, I was uncomfortable, like the male teachers as it was, I just was. If I was told your assignment is to draw boobies and breasts and vaginas and penises, I wouldn't do it. I would actually cry and go, I'm not doing that. And what would happen? Would I be forced to? Would I fail that assignment? I'd be like, I'm not doing this. I don't want to do it. I know I would have because I've said no to stuff before. I don't want to do it. Don't make
Like
me.
I said, Shimei was targeted in high school, okay?
Yes.
They took her blood in high school, people,
One book that I removed from
through their
There we
Red
go.
Cross
That
blood,
one- that
blood
one-
donation.
that one was
They
removed
blood
from
typed
my
her
question.
in high
Look at
school.
this.
She was marked in high school. They wouldn't give her band so that she could play piano.
The pronouns.
They wouldn't give her sciences so that she could become a nurse. No, they didn't give her anything she wanted. What they did is they set her up for illegal organ harvesting. That's what they did. As they were hanging their pride flag among countries as if being gay was a country. No, it's more like an infection, like a disease.
And you know, I'm going to show you why I was able to remove it. It's
Yeah.
because this,
Like a fucking disease.
That's prison. Right in the book, it's promoting drugs. Right there, in the book. Down, then this is the middle street. Right, that's the thing right here.
The few times I've been in a, I guess you can say a gay environment.
Look at this, testosterone, and they got a syringe here.
Oh, when I was younger, I think I went into a gay bar,
That's why it's changed to be
like twice. Just wandered in, looked around, and wandered out. Maybe a month or 2 or 3 later, wandered in and wandered out. You know, because you club hopping, right? And the vibes in those kind of places are messed up. And then, when I moved into this house over there, when I had that, the first X Club, before I got that, there was a group of people in that building that were that way. And they were weird. Straight up weird. And they gave me really bad vibes. Okay. Really bad vibes. But each to their own. I wasn't obligated to go and hang out with them, so I didn't. I tried not to cast no stones, so I didn't. But because nobody ever stands up to them, it's their sickness that controls the narrative.
Your friend's body says you're celebrating body hate.
Clearly, that's what's going on here.
These are the body parts I have, and as an adult,
I came across a video on BitChute, to which I'm listening to right now, where some person went into he went undercover, right, into a gay bar and started asking all these gay men what was the youngest person that they ever slept with as a man. As a man. And they were going on about 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They don't want to say how many that they fucked because they didn't want to go to jail because clearly they were minors when they were adults and they thought it was fucking funny, okay?
you'll
So
find your reason, and
funny.
I'll
Nothing
look back and
funny
laugh.
about it,
About
people.
that
It's a
part-time school,
sickness.
1 minute
And
you're
why
writing an
people
extra
allow
hour,
it to
1 minute you're in
continue,
the
I
cleaning
will
next year,
never,
bringing
ever
vegetables.
know. There
What
was
I've
a
seen with
reason
my
in the
sons
Roman
too,
days
like they're in
when men
teenagers
got
and everything,
castrated. There was a
they're actually
fucking
promoting that
reason
do you
for
look
it.
different? Do you not fit in any clique? You might be trans. And then they all of a sudden are accepted by this group, and it's the first time they've been accepted and put on a pedestal and given attention. They're literally going after kids who just don't fit in anywhere and convincing them that must be what it is. Oh God, what is that?
Here's another one. There's so many. I've got 30 of those books actually.
What grade is this shown to, do you know?
That one is in the secondary mainly. I'm gonna show you the worst part of this.
Sick.
You see here is
Oh.
18. You see right in the school, it's like, what's the purpose of it, right? It's just,
I don't even want to go look. It sounds disgusting, and I'm sure it is disgusting.
yeah, as I
Where
said
are the
before,
cops?
even if
They're
purpose
waiting for the
is
snuff movies,
something to
right?
learn about
Because that's
that.
just soft porn for them.
What's the point
They're
of putting
desensitized that.
those
They need the
things?
hardcore
If you
shit.
know those things,
That's
then
why the
what's
cops
point
don't do nothing
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it,
That means all
people.
the sexual
Okay.
explicit material in it, if there is any point to make, right? You know,
Well, you're actually getting kids addicted to this, so all the boys that really like looking this will go look for more porn. I remember when
Yeah,
I was
well,
about sex
they're not
ed,
going to be
and
satisfied with
that
just
big,
porn, though.
we were
They're going to
told
go
about
for the
different
snuff
kinds of
porn.
sex.
That's
And
what
when
they're
they
going to
told
go
us about
for,
oral,
right?
I was like, oh my god, they just told us the oral sex. They didn't have to show us pictures.
They're mentally deranged.
this is everywhere in elementary school. Okay? That's the books about the
I was watching
little girl.
Crow House
Little boy.
a couple, 2-3
Why
months
are they talking about
back.
cracking bottles over people's head? I don't get it.
Yeah, well, that's the language. This is Alex Gino is the author, and he's so bad at reading book. My gosh, he's a bad author. But he's got 3 books, very famous books in school. George, Rick, and I don't remember the other one, but that's
Anyway,
yeah. That
you know,
one.
he puts up little clips of this, that, or little articles or whatever. Apparently, somewhere on the mainland where I live, there's a park with a penis in it for children to play on.
What's the point of using this thing?
You know, the playground
You know,
apparatuses. Well, it's made to look like a freaking penis. Okay, where are the cops? Huh? I'd like to know.
They're promoting casual sex to our kids. That's what they're doing.
Where are the cops? Yeah, well, just let the little kids run around on a fucking penis in a park, right? Yeah, okay. That's just what I mean. It's bad vibes,
Back in the
people.
day-
Bad vibes.
We didn't learn all this stuff, and we all ended up getting married, having sex, and having kids. Somehow we figured it out. We didn't need this pushed down our throat. You just kind of like nature.
Yeah, right. We just don't give them band. We don't let them play music. We don't teach them science, right? We don't give them math. They didn't give her math. They didn't give her fucking science. She had to go to the CDC college to upgrade before she could go into nursing, because they did everything in their power not to have her become a nurse, because they want the immigrant nurses coming in, or the ones that are born here that don't like
That's the
certain
one
kind
that
of
talks
people
about the book
that will do what they're told.
If you look at the language,
They don't want ethical nurses. They didn't want Shmay, because she would have been an ethical nurse. They want the Eleanor Gildings
Use that word.
yeah.
or the immigrant workers that do as their master tells them to do.
Yeah, it's everywhere. You look at the word there, the word
Fuck,
fuck.
I wish you wasn't
And
trying to
because
do that.
Shmay was highly
Fuck,
intelligent
fuck. So guys,
and would have spoken out
stay
about
away from the Christian schools, and
this
now they're coming after the Christian
carnage,
schools. Some of them are teaching this.
they
My
just
kids'
took her
school's
out,
not.
people. They
But
took her
these
out and they
women,
fucking mapped her blood in high school.
That Drea Humphreys
Yeah,
interviewed.
that's exactly
They're
what
like,
they did.
We work here because it's a Christian school. We've worked here for 20 years because it's a Christian school. Now they're doing this here. They're putting this in Bible class.
Yep.
They're teaching this in Bible class.
This book is interesting. I see that's cool. I know. I can give you a list.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Let's just explore one school here right now. To a Christian school. Let's just do it. gonna, that's a good idea.
Tisha's gonna have a rude awakening too.
Maybe with a-
She's enrolling little Alea May
Slap on the eldest tuition,
into
school, and then they do this.
Catholic school to try and protect her from this. After talking to me, she's decided not to list her down as Catholic. So now she has to pay $600 a month
Okay.
to have little Alea May go into a Catholic school just so that she's not exposed to this garbage in the public school system. But yet, as they age, it turns out the boys that think they're girls but are clearly boys when they want to be boys, when they're not acting like sissies when they get caught with something, well, they get to go into the girls' washroom. And the Catholic school allows that. So, I don't know. Maybe they are teaching kids smut in an early age through these smut books. Well, the cops are just waiting for the kids to get a little older, so they can run them out on the streets and be the handlers that they are and booking a date for illegal organ harvesting and big bucks with those snuff movies.
That's the incest one, guys.
Yeah,
Right.
and this is what,
Yeah,
I'm in the
that's
school
exactly what's
library, online library right now. Okay? If I go into the other
And that's why they don't do nothing about it, people. Because they're too busy banking the proceeds around it. The aftermath, the ramification, the cause and effect.
Patiently waiting for it.
They're predators. They can't deal with adults. They have to go after the kids because the kids are, you know, their brains aren't developed yet. They're easy to manipulate. They're easy to mold and get them kind of going in a direction where if they're lucky, they can get away from it. But if they're not lucky, they're going to end up like Sierra.
Yet they're removing classic books because they have the N-word in it. Even though it's
And like with the numbers of death and with them pushing their assisted suicide and all this other crap,
backwards and upside down right now.
you know, I'm starting to think that they're putting these dead bodies, some of them, into the food chain. We just don't know it.
I know in Victoria there was a bunch of schools on
Yeah.
there.
It's not, you know, yeah, sure, people need organs, but not to the degree of
Okay, so guys,
the corruption that's around it. Okay,
have the gender queer book, so that's like
definitely
another
they need it for their
robo
robo cops,
And then there's the bluest
or
eye. I'm gonna
whatever.
read out every single school.
They're
This list you sent me, Pierre, is it pretty
I
much
can't even
like
do it.
The full list, or is this just what you know of?
that's only the one.
Dr. God, Dr. Death, aka Bonnie Henry, whatever she is to you.
That's districts, guys, not schools. Districts. You actually need to start phoning
Yeah.
people and asking.
It's sick.
Yeah, so I did W a third.
So
So
sick.
they expect me to have the book. So
Do they allow
So what,
parents to
children
go
get
to
raped
the school library
by
if they pretend they're for good reason, and then they can
whoever,
find
and
the book, steal it,
cops ain't gonna do
there's
shit about it
20
because the
taken
book
it,
said it was okay? Is that it?
so they pay for it.
Is that how it works now?
So the funny part is, you said all right, but there's a lot of those books that they are.
Daddy molested his son, and that's okay because the book said it was okay. Is that how it
Make
works?
the book all of the school by itself. But the thing is, it doesn't.
Well, hell, why don't they just
We have to
draw in a cop molesting a kid, and then the cops can just do it openly without having to sneak around people's backs and pretending that they're such fucking good guys because the book said so. The book said it was okay, right?
accountable for that.
Is that how, you know, really?
That's one of the reasons why I accumulated so much data before I started talking about the data I have. But I didn't want them to have the data.
Anyway,
People have to go in
this
groups.
just
You
the
get
way it
12
goes
parents
because
together,
they like to
one
twist things
parent,
around.
you walk into
These
the school,
individuals
you go
that do
straight
this
to the
kind of stuff.
library, You ask where that book is. And you
They're
remove
masters
and if
at
you
it.
don't wanna
They've been
get
doing it
charged
for
with
years.
theft, throw them
I
50
lost my
bucks.
tape.
Yeah. Or what
Yep,
you can do,
they've been
you
doing
can
it
ask
for
you can
years.
have the principals of the school to give you all the list of all the books they have in the library. And then
You know,
for them,
I'm going to end it on this
give you the list
because I speak from experience, personal experience, people.
Okay.
Okay, not only on from a Sierra's perspective or Shmai's perspective or an Uncle John's perspective or an Amari's perspective or an Andre's perspective, but I speak from a personal perspective. Let's just put it this way. I was a vulnerable teenager.
Okay.
Adolescent, really. I was only 15 years old. You do the math.
And you know, when you approach
And
them,
do you know what
don't
the
act
cops
like you
did
have any
for
kind
me?
of problem or agenda.
Nothing.
Just ask. And then do with
Absolutely
it what you
nothing.
need to do. So Pierre, is there
They
anything
picked
else
up
we
my
wanna make
ass
sure that we know,
in
we've seen,
40
talked
below
about before
weather
I give the big list
out
of
on the
schools
streets because I was basically a homeless youth.
I can talk about that forever. I've been on this before.
Took me to the cop station,
Cover the main part. The main part
took a mug shot,
there is an epidemic
and then drove me back out
of sexual
and dropped me
abuse
off in the fucking streets and left me there.
right now. And this is not just
I said, why do you need the picture?
the case that
Oh, in case you come up missing
there is Canada
or we find a
Center
dead
for
body.
Protection that mentions that. There is
Seems to
something
me
that-
that's where they wanted me, was
we
out
talk
on the
about
streets,
books.
people.
The books are used to groom children. So we have an epidemic of sexual abuse. Then we
Why do you
allow
think I fought so hard for
materials
Sierra?
are used
Trying to get her off
to
the
the
streets,
fire to groom
people.
children in school. So that's the main.
But as hard as I fought, I was being sabotaged by the handlers in the
They don't care about
community.
child safety anymore. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that teacher in, I guess, Ontario, who wears the prosthetic boobs out to here with the protruding nipples and a short skirt that's a man in post-secondary.
So right now she's just reading out all the schools in British Columbia, Canada that have these books in their library. Quallaton College or Quallaton High School, where Shimei went and was targeted, is one of those schools,
Waterloo
people.
School District, Bluevale. Cameron Heights, Waterloo School District.
Yeah.
Eastwood CI. This is all the bluest.
This is
eye
not
via,
good.
Pedophilia.
Nope, because you know what they're doing?
Eastwood CI, Elmira,
For the
DS,
kids that
Waterloo, Forest Heights,
are
Waterloo,
targeted
South
like
Sea,
Sierra?
Waterloo, Southwood SS,
Oh,
Waterloo,
man.
Jacob Hespeler, Waterloo, Kitchener, Waterloo.
You're gonna have it
Waterloo,
rough.
CVS.
It's
Waterloo.
already rough,
God,
people.
Waterloo, man. Bluevale,
You're just
Laurel Heights, Bluevale
setting up
CI,
these kids
Laurel
to be
Heights
exploited.
SS, Bluevale CI,
Yeah.
Blundell Elementary,
They're creating the
Burnett,
predators
Blundell
and they're creating the prey. Sierra was the prey. Yeah. That's why the cops didn't go in there. And she was 14. They needed the prey.
Burnett Secondary in Richmond.
Yeah.
McMath Secondary in Richmond. Thompson Elementary.
And they kept her alive
District. Glenmore Elementary School, Central Okanagan.
for as long as they could
Kelowna
use her.
Secondary, Central Okanagan. Okanagan
And once they
Mission
couldn't use her
Secondary,
anymore,
Central Okanagan. Rutland Senior
they took her
Secondary
out.
School, Central Okanagan. Burnett Secondary, Richmond School District.
Only one bag
McMath
didn't seal.
Secondary, Richmond School District. Powhatan Secondary.
I really don't like using oxygen absorbers, but I'm making an attempt to do it.
So, share this, even if you just,
And you know, a lot of these Punjabis out here,
I appreciate you guys.
they have their
tuning in.
Khalsa schools.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Strictly Punjabis
Thank you for
with their
tuning in.
book.
Please share this. Download this if you can. It's positive, chicken, mountain state,
Teaching them to be doctors and lawyers.
So this will be a LIDRTI.
And whatever.
Odessa,
But you can't trust them, though. You see, that's the problem. It was a Punjabi who illegally harvested Shmai's organs. Right? It was a Punjabi that injured Amari at the time of his birth. Right? It was a Punjabi that put in 2 big bottles of freezing agent into my eyes. Right? I'm just saying. I'm not saying you can't trust them all, because you're not supposed to broad sweep, right? But at the end of the day, okay, they really don't care. The more that they can have the Sierras out in the streets, the better it is for them.
creative.
So they're not
managers
going to fight
that
against
do
this,
like
people.
doing that. And I'm
They don't fight against anything. Anything bad, never see them stand up and fight. Only if it's something directly related to them do they stand up and fight. If it was Shimei, if Shimei was a Punjabi, even though they got her listed as Punjabi in her medical files, well, yeah, because they were selling her eggs, people. Right? That's why. Anyway.
thanks, producer.
The world
who set
is a
up the show
terrible,
and made
terrible,
sure everything
terrible,
was
terrible,
right.
terrible place. If
That's
people
two
want
in a
to
row
be
that was
gay,
muted.
go off and be gay. And like
Oh boy,
anybody
let me
else
start
in
again.
society, have some
Today,
self-respect
I am using
about
Laura's
yourself.
computer,
Seriously,
and it
man.
looks like there is
And,
no
you know,
delay. This is perfect.
know your
So I'm gonna
boundaries
use
for
his
crying out
computer
loud,
one more
right?
time
And if you like
so that
bad
we're
vibe
sure
and
it's my
bad
computer,
bad
and then I
vibe
can go buy one of them.
environments,
We just wanted to
well,
make sure. So the
what
reason
can you
why
do,
I didn't
right?
do a show in the last
But
week
don't
is
expect
he
me
wasn't
to
here. I was
like
also
it
away, but we got
or
back about 5
want to
days
be
ago. He
around it
wasn't here, and we did not want
or
to do a
have
show
my family
on my
around it
computer with the
or
delay.
any of
It's
that
going
for
well
that
so
matter
far.
because it's
But
just
producer
not going to
doesn't
fucking
know,
happen.
just like I do when I'm by myself.
No.
Anyway,
So,
let me quickly start
but
with my ad.
that's
Hang
what
on,
they
this is totally
expect
worth
now these
waiting
days.
for. I'm going to show
Right?
you guys a couple really great videos
Like the
and some
public school
articles that
system has
everyone
gone
needs to be
completely
aware of. And the good
bonkers.
thing is,
Completely fucking bonkers.
things are moving and shaking
Yeah.
with explosion. I'm talking about the gun edit.
Okay, so I'm still
Now,
listening. She's gone
this
on to
thing is
another
not even
video
mandated
here.
anymore, except Joe Biden
Like,
being the sleazy
it's straight up madness.
Pfizer owner who
So my
doesn't
vacuum
know
sealed
what
bags
they do.
in paper
So he
bags
can't let us in.
are in
But
here.
besides that, they're
I
not
got
mandating
6
anymore, except for
Cantatelli beans
crazy
and
NDP
4
and
black rice because the black rice I've already got
if you want to be
in
a healthcare worker,
what do you
they're
call
gonna
it?
let us back now, even on Main Street.
A 1-gallon jar,
Only 3 years
and I've
late.
got
But,
25 pounds of the
the,
Cantatelli beans
what was I talking about?
in
What was I talking about? Okay, anyways, so they, if you're
a
wondering,
bucket, right?
as a newbie,
Because I bought
why are
2.
they so
So
concerned
these ones
about
here
that
now, what I'm doing,
when they know, even Joe Gates is saying it doesn't stop.
now this is what you
know,
call a zealot.
transmitting
Now I put them in these
with the censorship
supposedly
guys. I wish everything
9mm
was like
mylar bags,
Not-
but I don't think
I
that's
am
what
on
they are.
Facebook to try to help more
With the
newbies.
aluminum in the
And
inside,
YouTube,
which
and
I don't
everything
think they
that goes on
have.
YouTube. I
I've
have
got
all
them
that goes on
partially
there.
closed,
Anyways,
and I'm leaving just a little space. I'm going to do that for each and every one.
Agenda. There is something in there.
And I'm going to open up another packet of oxygen absorbers, and I'm just going to throw them into the bag. I'm not going to label the bags because they're reusable, but I will label the bucket, and I'll keep these separate. And then after it's all said and done, and I've got everything organized, which will take a couple, 2-3 months or whatever, right? Because, you know, spring is coming, and I got that whip on my back. You know how it goes, right? Just whatever, and hopefully I'll be able to see.
Meanwhile, a teacher,
and then I'll do it again.
at the University of Montreal,
Because I like these beans. These are nice beans.
that every
So I'm trying to take out as much air as I can.
sexual interest in
Just
children,
leaving a little hole there, just big enough to throw in one of those oxygen absorbers.
he's getting slaughtered
And then I'm going to
and
close it up,
slaughtered him as well.
and then I'm going to put them in buckets.
They are telling people
So how many layers? 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of protection
and he's so gross
from the
when he
elements,
explains it.
right?
He brought it up here.
Where the 25-pound bag,
It's out there in nature.
I left it in the original bag that it came in, and then I put it in a Mylar bags, in one big Mylar bag, in the original bag that it came in,
Option.
and then I put it in a bucket with a gamma lid. But I do plan on going down there at some point when I go down there and deal with these buckets with the
Really?
big Mylar bags, and then I'll open up bucket to bucket, and I'll put I'll put oxygen absorbers, 2,500 cc, into the Mylar bag because I'm using Ziploc. The ones that I had to use the curling iron, I took it out. I'm not even. I prefer the Ziploc.
Okay, so that's the
But,
tip that I have.
you know.
I just want to say that I could possibly get taken out the first.
It is what it is.
That word starting with a P.
So anyway, I don't know.
I could be kicked out.
I don't know how these individuals
Minor attack.
got control
These are the people.
of society to the degree that they have control of, being that they're a minority
This guy is
and they're uncouth, they have no class, right? They're dangerous, many of them, not all of them, but many of them are, and they're unpredictable. I would say mentally ill to various degrees with many of those individuals, not all of
This
them,
guy is sick. No, actually, I have never been attracted to a child.
right?
Sorry about that, Mr.
You could say I'm mentally ill for doing this
This was,
to the extreme, that is.
So maybe you can find this guy there.
Right.
He's being taught to brainwash people that this is normal.
You know?
Because, oh, I forgot to mention.
Never mind saying I'm a little loopity-loop because I did food prep all these
He
years.
goes on later, and you
Right?
can find it on Liberty at
So if you want to sit up there and call me mentally unstable because I was a little excessive with the food prep in light of the sign of the times and what's going on in the economy and the projection of what's going to go on in the economy and why, you know, well, then I have a right to say that these individuals that are pushing their abnormal sexuality onto the general population as if that is the norm is clearly a sign of some kind of psychosis that's like I said, it's like a disease, you know? Strangers don't have a right to educate children on sensitive subjects. No. And children shouldn't be exposed in a library or anywhere in a public setting to potential pedophiles or to the idea that incest is okay and rape is okay and just whatever, and you know, beating women up and raping them is okay, and I'm like, what the hell? And people are paying money for this to bring that into their school. And nobody's fighting back, and the few that are, they're not strong enough by themselves. And you can't expect these immigrants that come into the country to fight back, because they're not going to fight back, people, because they want what you have. You see, that's the thing. That's why we got the UN soldiers over there with their freaking 6-7 dump trucks and bulldozers and all that crap. They go from house to house, to block, from district to district, tearing down fucking houses. Okay? They don't care who they hurt.
The vaccine crisis communication manual. Vaccine crisis. Interesting choice of words, right?
It's disgusting.
Where this internal doc, I don't know, 100 pages, 60 pages, I can't remember. It
Completely
shows
disgusting.
how to clean up the
And they come in with their bad attitudes, oh, you know, with their classism and their superiority complexes because of what their religion teach them, you know, how they perceive themselves to be, I don't know, just whatever.
Stakeholders.
My grandmother said, just stick to yourself. Don't have too many friends. Just stick to yourself and Read the
here on
Bible.
news,
That's what she told me.
as if they're big, important
Read the
people,
Bible.
know
I
that
don't
there's
really
people
read
that
much
make money
of anything
off
these days. Okay, so these are all ready to go now.
So this is a really funny cleanup manual. They don't really admit.
So I should be able to go
that it
from
could be
each one.
Poco. They just teach how to clean up the mess.
Oh,
They also
gosh,
admit
I
that
lost that little-
eventually with every new
I
blah,
lost
blah,
them.
blah, there will be a crisis.
Where are they?
There's always a crisis. So
I
have
heard
put that on
something
Facebook.
drop.
I will again put it on liberty.com/Odessa.
Okay,
Within 2 hours
here
of
it
the show at the bottom of this.
You have to work
show.
fast with this stuff. It's kind
So
of
I'm
like
gonna get right to the graphene thing here.
Ugh.
Now you guys know this, but
that soup that I had earlier.
the WTF,
It was so good.
if you actually Google a DuckDuckGo,
And it was
whatever
chicken,
browser you use that's
and there was a
for
bit of potato in there.
World Economic Forum and
Anyway,
graphene, so many articles
I
come
mashed
out.
it up for Amari.
Just can't wait to
The
put this
chicken with that little
in.
bit of
Things like
potato.
that lady where wanna get those
And
chicken
I had the
vitamins
right
in us,
consistency
so
in
many
terms of
tattoos
it.
that
You
we
know, I
can
added the
stand.
broth and,
Um,
you know, I made sure there was no chunks, nothing. I just didn't puree it, right, to a fine whatever. And he started gagging on it, puking, and fucking scared the shit out of me, man. You don't even know people. Like,
the oligarchs, and oligarchs
as soon as they changed
around the
those
world,
drinks,
it's not just a Russian thing. The
he
richest
got
of the
a
rich
seizure.
billionaires, it isn't to help us, it's to enslave us. And they
Or
don't
did he
care
have this-
that there
I
are
don't
a bunch
know.
of people who have very
Yeah,
bad
the
things
drinks.
happen
As soon
to
as
their
he,
bodies.
as soon as
This
they
is not
changed the
natural.
drinks, he got the seizure.
Let me read this. Can you check what it's worth?
And just didn't want it. Just doesn't want to eat like he used to. He used to have such a good appetite. I could feed him anything. He wasn't picky, nothing. And all I had to do was just, you know, you've seen me chop, 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 chop. Right? Every now and then I would grind it up real good for him, depending on what it was. And he never complained. Now, my God, I can't even give him chicken soup for fuck's sakes. And then, you know, he starts laughing. Never mind, I had a heart attack. Right? Because it's, you know, it's frightening, right? You know, because, I don't know. Anyway, when I go to the eye surgeon, I'm going to look for a booster chair. Because I can't let him sit in his wheelchair playing with his food. And if he puts too much in his mouth, because I think that's what happened, right? I don't know what happened, but anyway, I'm afraid if he puts too much in his mouth or anything, just whatever it is, and he starts freaking gagging, choking on me, I won't be able to get him out of that wheelchair. There's no way. Yeah? So I'm going to have to try and figure it out on the table. I'm going to sit him up on the table with a booster chair. So I'm going to look for a booster chair for him. Because, you know, you can only go like this for so long. I don't want him to be on a bottle with these drinks for the rest of his life, that's for sure. Right? And then they'll want to put him on a freaking feeding tube yet. Because, you know, in their mind, he's not fat, right? Even though he's active all day long and strong. He can kick me over, man. When he starts kicking, pushing on me, right? Oh boy, I'm gonna go like this. He's getting really strong. Like really strong. Or he grabs, right? Yeah. Oh, you know what he does now? So cute. When he wants to sit up, he grabs his foot and he hangs onto his foot, and that's how he pulls himself up. Yeah, I caught him doing it. Yeah. He's figured out that if he grabs his foot, he's got something to pull himself up and sit up. So, you know, he thinks, right? And he's getting fast, like really fast. He fell off the couch. So I've got this baby rail in the living room that Andre's going to sand down for me and give it a little bit of paint. It's bigger than what I've got, right? A little longer. But I don't know. He's getting fast. I don't know if he's just lazy with the food or if he's full. I don't know. You know, this is filling for him, right? I don't know. I just know that scared the shit out of me. Twice.
Well, they'll just call it starring as a new virus. Shoot, we got lots of that down yet. So, let me just show you.
But I'll tell you, it's better than having a child that's completely listless. Doesn't move, doesn't say anything.
Entering the body,
Just
blood,
lays
air
there.
barrier, blood-brain barrier, blood
He's not like that.
barrier, blood placenta
Quite the
barrier,
opposite.
distribution and excretion.
Yeah. So, doing it this way goes pretty fast, what I'm doing here right now.
Uptake and
And
location.
in terms of
all
removing
the different places
oxygen,
it can go.
I use 2 times. Once inside the bag, vacuum sealed,
toxicity of
and
it,
now
yeah,
inside the
PFAS
Mylar
organs.
bag.
The toxicity and biocompatibility of graphene
With just
has
a
been
Ziploc.
observed in assessed in theoretical and animal model
And
studies.
this
At
is not
present,
so
there
bad.
are a massive data demonstrating the toxicity of graphene in different
Because, you know, you
organs
spend good money for this
in
stuff, right?
animals. So that is hard to list all the data in this
Now, when you
review.
do it this way, it lasts even longer than
internal
the way I've
organs
been
are
doing it.
all about what it can do. Lungs,
So these ones go to the far back.
chronic injury. So putting something that's not
And the next
nature into
time I
itself.
order this,
Central nervous
will be one more time
Graphene has largely benefited neurosurgery with the application of
over the
drugs
next 4 months.
drug gene delivery
3 to
for
4 months,
gene
just
tumor
to-
treatment, intracranial
right?
and spinal biocompatible devices, biosensing and bioimaging techniques.
That one will go in the back, where the one that's
There's a lot of great
in
discoveries
the
that can help
bag,
people who have serious issues with their body.
25-pound bag,
That's another story.
in the Mylar bag.
Tell us about.
That's
But
the one I'll go
now,
to
these
and
guys
use
are taking something and
more
running with
regularly
it and saying,
than these
how
ones.
can we make human
These ones are going to go in
targeted
long term.
This is
That
one
can
way.
sit for quite a few years.
So,
And just by the way they were
the data
packaged,
of the toxic study is underway
they should stay
about this.
fresh.
Studies regarding the potentialities and risks of graphene in the brain have
So.
emerged in the chicken embryo model.
There we go.
Graphene plates decrease the ribonucleic acid level and the rate of DOI,
Oh, boy.
ribonucleic acid synthesis, leading to harmful effects on brain tissue development.
Right?
Like we don't have enough problem with
That's
obesity
Cantatelli
and atypical
beans,
obesity.
organic,
They don't care, though, you
and
know,
that's the black rice,
which is actually
organic, with the 1 gallon downstairs.
the clever roll,
Right?
UN, they're all one and the same.
I'm definitely going to do another Cantatelli.
We don't care how many people we lose.
I may do another that. It's hard to say. Hold on.
We